should we bring up a child? What should we do and what we should not do in the upbringing of the child?
How should we bring up our child? Remember, do it this way, do it that way, this is good, this is bad. We have these kind of many preset rules. You want your child to be an authentic, inquisitive, curious, innovating, and a person with an enormous expression and application skills. If your child is authentic, innovative, and a person with enormous expression skills, then most of your job is done. But what happens generally, we try to tell or we try to implant our do's and don'ts into our children. The first and fundamental these days, they say we encounter a lot of people who teach us, but very little we find people who inspire us, and very little who hone our curiosity. Remember, a child is a natural learner. Adults, when they grow up, they say we have a lot of failures and how to handle failures. A child, when he tries to walk, when he tries to talk, when he tries to bicycle, when he tries to do anything, he fails a lot of times. But he never gets disappointed, he never gets depressed. Instead, he or she feels very happy about it. They give you a nice smile, bright smile. Your job as a parent is to hold on or to preserve the authenticness or that innate, natural, inquisitive or curious nature in your child. And fearless expression. Fearless expression, if you nurture this along with the inquisitive and authenticness or the curiosity within the child, then you will be able to inspire the child in believing his own self. As I always say, you need to first and foremost teach the child to believe in his own self, his or herself. You have to teach the child to believe in his or her own self. And once that is established, and fearless communication of what they are able to feel. See, the whole world can be just summarized into two things. Success can be summarized from the materialistic point of view into two terms. Knowing with utmost clarity of what you want in life and ability to extract what you want out of the self and out of the situations around you. If you know these two things, having utmost clarity on what you want in life and having an ability to extract what you want from yourself and from the surroundings. If you have these two, don't you think most or almost every part of your life is happy? The truth is, we are not able to teach people how to articulate within themselves and to bring out what they want to from within. If a child wants to do something, it's very difficult to stop the child to do that. He will cry, he will shout, he or she will shout, they will be very strongly trying to. If a child wants to touch something, crawling and going somewhere and touch something, it becomes very difficult for the child. If you stop, the child will try 100 ways. A child is simply crawling and trying to hold something you don't want. So you distract the child. You put him somewhere else. Do you think he would get depressed or disappointed? No. He would again change his course and try to get there. You try to do it 10 times, he or she will try to get there 10 times, all the while. As we grow up in the adults, we teach the children not what is called as authenticness or the innovativeness or the curiosity, or we develop a fear of expression of what they want in life. This you should not do, or else you will have lot of bad things. This will not happen, that will not happen. We teach them that. We do not teach children how to handle their own life. If you want something, you go get it. We don't teach that. We slowly kill that natural go-getting spirit. So, if you do not try to sabotage all these natural qualities which are already there in children and support parents, if you see the mother is a little submissive or a little fearful, then the child will automatically try to develop those qualities. Whoever, mother or father, if the child is influenced more, he develops those qualities. They simply say, see, I try to tell, or the importance of doing anything I try to emphasize to my child understands, but still my child wants me to prompt. And then I give in and give them prompting. I give them support. We nurture, in the name of nurturing, we support so much hopelessly. We try to support every of their action. We do not try to make the emphasis on how or what or why it is important for them to be proud of themselves. We try to help the child. The child wants to do something, I will try to help you. If the child is not studying well, in these days of competition, how will the child? So I will help my child understanding the subject. So from the childhood, the mother or the father starts studying with the child. Thereby, what is happening is you develop a sense of dependency within them. You do it along with me. We do not try to teach. This you do not know. I am here to only help and explain you. You have to do it on your own. Because this is your necessity. Growing or getting over what you cannot do is your necessity. It's a challenge. We do not create that feeling of obstacle overcoming and then gratification by overcoming the obstacles that we have in our life. The moment a child has a small obstacle, we parents run and help the child. So if you stop all this kind of negative behaviors where you stop your child exhibit a natural inquisitive or natural leadership that he or she naturally exhibits, if you stop inhibiting those expressions, automatically your child will be a fantastic child. You cannot show me one child who wants to touch something or do something and you say, you prevent, and then they get terrified by it. They want to do it. 100 ways they will search. We slowly give that support. From the childhood, we do not give emphasis, or we do not really put that enormous amount of importance in, if this is your life, this is what you want in life, you have to get what you want in life, and you have to achieve what you want in life. If you develop that kind of a self-belief and going after what they want, and create a high level of self-esteem. Remember, you can't consider yourself as an absolutely good human being and do anything bad. Only when you don't care about your self-image, only when you don't care about your self-awareness, only when you do not care about the consequences and you are just driven by the gratification of temporary actions, only then you can do something bad in your life. So fundamentally, the quality of self-respect, quality of how to develop the quality of self-respect. Generally, if you see, you do this and Papa will give you this. You do this and Papa will buy you this. You do this and Papa will allow you to do this. If you see, observe, we try to train the children from the childhood to be a little submissive person. If you behave like this, you can take this toy. If you behave like this, you can do this. If you want, you can do like this. We do not create such kind of a environment. We say, I will give you. So a continuous and a constant, I will get clothes for you on your birthday. I will get you toys. I will get you what you want in life. I will get you. We create that atmosphere. We don't say, because you are a fantastic child, you can take any toy that you want. You don't create the feeling that the child is taking. You create a feeling that you are giving, granting to the child. So if you stop that and develop a certain kind of self-respect where I take what I want, and create an enormous amount of self-respect where I'm a very good person. And once you develop that enormous self-respect and getting what they want in life from the childhood, when you develop those skills, then automatically your child will be an absolute or a phenomenal success. To sum up in one line, do not implant your, whenever you have your own thoughts, whenever you think about your child or the situations, you will get natural thoughts of fear and natural reactions of how you want to do. At that point in time, just hold on and think, by doing this, what will my child understand? My child, as a young boy or a girl, is going and talking to some stranger. If I am watching from a distance and observing and trying to monitor what's happening but not helping, only when it is absolutely necessary I jump in, or else I will let the child deal with a stranger. Like stranger in the sense, you go to a restaurant, you go to any neighbor's home, your relative's home, or anybody. The child generally says, "Mummy, ask that uncle to give me this." And the mother immediately jumps in and says, please give the child. Yes or no? It happens. Mummy, ask that auntie to do this. Mummy, ask this uncle to help me this way. And then the mother or the father asks. Thereby, when I do this, subconsciously I am building an attitude that I need help to get what I want. You don't let the child deal with the situations. So once you start developing an observation and analysis on what you're doing and what happens in the mind of the child with your behavior, if you have that level of awareness, automatically your all behaviors will be perfect. And then you will be able to preserve the naturally existing inquisitiveness, curiosity, ability to express, and go-getting spirit of the child. Once you preserve that, he will know, or he or she will know, fundamentally, he or she will be perfect in two things. Exactly knowing what they want and how to get that, what they want, from within themselves and from the surroundings. And if you teach these two things, if you help them learn these two things, rather I would not say teach, I would say if you help them learn these two things, how to actually know what I want in my life and how to get what I want from me and from my surroundings. If I can teach this, if I can make them learn it. Actually, teaching itself is how to make people learn, because teaching is not imparting knowledge. Teaching is exciting or inspiring the curiosity within. If you see, a good teacher is not a person who will tell you what to do and what not to do. A good teacher will inspire that inquisitiveness or the curiosity within. All of us have a favorite teacher in our schools. And if you observe your teacher, whoever is your favorite, that specific teacher who was your favorite has inspired you to do something. Go after something. If your favorite teacher is science teacher, she might have created definitely a lot of curiosity or a lot of passion or inquisitiveness towards science within you. If your favorite teacher is mathematics teacher, then automatically she would have created a sense of liking, curiosity, or fun in that subject for you. In the same fashion, when you create that kind of a inquisitiveness and curiosity and nurture that within your child and let them go get, then you automatically make your children. So don't try to impart so many things into your children in the name of parenting. Fundamentally do this. Create an enormous amount of self-respect. Create an enormous amount of self-worth. Create an enormous amount of self-awareness. And protect and nurture their ability to go get, ability to express explicitly what they want in life or what they want from the surroundings, and let them fail gracefully in whatever they do. And if you can do all this, you will have a fantastic child, because every child is born to succeed, because they are designed to succeed. Jai Gurudatta. Jai Gurudatta. Jai Jai Gurudatta.